Warning! The following video contains massive spoilers not only for Daughter Phantomile, but also Empire of Dreams and Gates to Infinity. Greetings, citizens of the internet! You can call me Nitro Indigo, and today I'll be discussing my thoughts about Klonoa Daughter Phantomile. First of all, why is it called Daughter Phantomile? Sure, it's set in Phantomile, but there aren't any doors leading to it. Anyway, I first discovered Klonoa in 2014 via Kadikarus via Dalmatians 3, but I thought of it as nothing more than some weird PlayStation game I never get to play. I had almost completely forgotten about Klonoa, even after Empire of Dreams was released on the Wii U eShop, until 2016. I was going through a phase where I watched a lot of videos about Sonic. This led me to discover Exo Paradigm Gamer and his Sonic reviews. At the time, he had just started his Klonoa marathon. His review of Daughter Phantomile made me desperately want to play it, but copies of the Wii make are rare, and it was the only version I have the means to play. After accidentally finding out some out-of-context spoilers and playing Empire of Dreams, I finally got a copy of the Wii make and I was hooked. I completed it in 2 days, and I've been trying to get people into Klonoa ever since. The best way I can describe Daughter Phantomile is that it's deceptively simple. It's a fairy tale story about saving a damsel from a force of negativity, all over the course of a day. Oh, and by the way, the protagonist is from another plane of existence and his supposed best friend was using him. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the ending plot twist. I've already made a video about this, but I've improved a lot since then, so let me reiterate. Near the end of the game, Guardius senses the presence of a strange dream that cannot be corrupted by nightmares. Hupo reveals that Klonoa is this strange dream. After the final boss has been defeated, Hupo reveals that Klonoa is from a world considered a dream to Phantomile, his memories are fake, and the Song of Rebirth will forcibly remove him from the reality he's currently in. So basically, a Pokémon Mystery Dungeon ending before Pokémon Mystery Dungeon even existed. Honestly, I saw Klonoa being from another world coming. Earlier on in the game, Granny mentions that the prophecies foretold, among other things, a dream not of this world. That's not in the English PlayStation version, however. There's also the fact that I played Empire of Dreams before this, which ends by revealing that the whole game was Julius's dream. Klonoa's memories being fake, though, not foreshadowed at all, and too late to have any meaningful impact on the plot. That being said, I can appreciate the idea behind the twist, if not the execution. I really like the idea of a protagonist who saves the world, only to discover that they're passively harmful to it, and they have to be removed, no negotiations. If you think a story has wasted potential, there's nothing wrong with taking those ideas and writing your own story that improves upon them. Gates to Infinity is the most similar to Daughter Phantomile in this regard, since Sazandora the Explorer says that the existence of a human in the world inhabited only by Pokémon could cause the universe to implode, or something, so everyone has to forget you. It's all for nothing though, because they remember you anyway, and then the partner wishes you back. Unlike in Pokémon Mystery Dungeon, Klonoa doesn't come back, so the tragedy isn't cheapened. I also like the fact that the game begins in a village inhabited by Klonoa's species. Most people call them Cabbits, but I like to call them Clues. It makes the twist more surprising, because Klonoa looks like he belongs in Phantomile. The manual contains a backstory about how there were 4 gods representing the 4 elemental kingdoms: the Wind God, Tree God, Water God, and Moon God. The Moon God could create anything using the people's dreams, meaning that the people couldn't remember their dreams when they woke up. Guardius, the King of Darkness, was jealous of the Moon God, so he started a rebellion. After a 100-day battle, the gods imprisoned Guardius with the help of the celestial fish. The Moon God went into hiding, but could be summoned by the combined power of wind, trees, and water. This information is only vaguely alluded to in the actual game, leaving the game story on its own feel lacking. I was waiting for the manual backstory to be explained in more detail, and then it wasn't. I understand that it was once common practice for most of a game's story to be in the manual, but this game came out in 1997. The manual also provides this description of the ruins of the Wind Kingdom. The old palace of the Wind God. According to legend, it was destroyed during the Wind God's battle with the King of Darkness. The ruins of the Wind Kingdom is one of my favourite areas in all of gaming because of what I like to call vague world building. Basically, vague world building is where there's no concrete explanation as to how the world of a given work of fiction works, but there's material that provides ideas. Another game I get a sense of vague world building from is the original Spyro the Dragon. The levels feel like actual places in an actual world with an untold history, and I want to know more about the different classes of dragons. It's not a story-driven game, so the lack of explanations doesn't bother me. Instead, it intrigues me. Anyway, I love the ruins of the Wind Kingdom because the background hints at an interesting story waiting to be told. Throughout the level, there are airships similar to the one Joker used at the start of the game. Did he steal one from there? There are also 2 wall murals, one depicting Klonoa and the Wind Ring, and the other containing the symbols of the elemental kingdoms. Both of these foreshadow later events without saying a word. Are these the prophecies Granny was talking about? Even though I've only played the remake, something about it feels lacking. Even though I knew the game's descent into darkness was coming, it still felt jarring. I have a feeling that if I played the PlayStation version, I wouldn't have as many issues with the plot. Maybe it's nostalgia for someone else's childhood, or maybe it's because I think its tone is handled better. A comment on Exo's review of this game made me realise that Daughter Phantomile is like a dark fairy tale. It seems whimsical at first, but has a melancholic core and existential undertones. While the graphics are cute at first glance, there's something surreal about them, the first clue that all is not well. Meanwhile, some people have described the remake as being too much like a Saturday morning cartoon. Daughter Phantomile is about how we can't live in a fairy tale world forever. Sooner or later, we must lose our innocence in order to grow up. I feel conflicted about Lunatea's Veil. On one hand, it feels so fundamentally different from Daughter Phantomile in terms of tone, and is when the Klonoa franchise became less whimsical and more conventionally anime-like. On the other hand, it understands that the emotions were the original's main draw, and respects that by being emotional in a different way. Oh, and it has lots of vague world-building material, which I very much appreciate. Part of me wishes that I could have gone into Daughter Phantomile blind, with no idea that it would descend into darkness. This is partly due to the fact that shortly after finishing Empire of Dreams, I saw a review of Dream Champ Tournament that showed Grandpa's death while summarising Daughter Phantomile. But before I played the remake, I watched a video comparing the PlayStation and Wii versions of the opening cutscenes and Vision 1-1. Seeing the opening monologue and hearing "And I Begin to Wonder" made me realise that there was still so much about Daughter Phantomile that I didn't know.